Hello, everyone. My name is Sahej, and I work with Saïd Business School and University of Oxford. I primarily take care of our online portfolio of programs, and I would like to welcome you all on today's session. And firstly, thank you everyone for taking out the time for this specific session. And I know it's the Christmas is around the corner, and we are just wrapping up the last work and everything, and it's tough to take out time at this time. But I can assure everyone that this particular session is going to be highly impactful and not just insightful from a program perspective, but also how exactly this industry is shaping, not just the artificial intelligence, but what exactly the regulations, compliance, ethical aspects, and how do you and your organization navigate in this specific space. So let me pull up the presentation and give you all an understanding. Okay. I hope everyone can see the presentation. So to start off with, some quick housekeeping. This session is going to be recorded. In case anyone misses out this particular session, they can view it later on, and also the recording will be accessible to people who have attended this, who are attending this particular session as well. We have the Q&A available in this session, and we would love to hear your questions, and we'll definitely take up as many questions as possible at the end of this particular presentation. We also have our team monitoring the entire Q&As, and they will be happy to answer any relevant questions which can be answered in the Q&A. We also have the chat option, and we would actually love to hear from all of you in the chat. If you can, just quickly introduce yourself in that particular chat by mentioning the country from where you are joining and your name, and also we would love to hear which specific area of artificial intelligence you are interested in or you are working towards. Okay, so we have a fantastic panel with us in this particular session, and we can very well assure you that this is going to be a highly insightful session, and not just from an academic perspective or how exactly the program is, but also to give you understanding of real life experiences as well. So here I would like to pass it on to Peter to introduce himself. Over to you, Peter.
Hi guys, I am Peter Morgan. I have been a head tutor on the AI Ethics Regulation and Compliance course since February. It's a new course. We've been running it a few iterations this year, and I've been on every one. And also a little bit more about me. I actually have an AI consulting company where we help people with their deployment and also AI governance. So that's me, and I shall pass it on to Lucy.
Thanks a lot, Peter. Over to you, Lucy, if you can introduce yourself.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Lucy Manning. I've worked in the energy industry for nearly 15 years now, supporting both trading and infrastructure businesses navigate regulatory change and business development opportunities. I also have a PhD in philosophy, so I'm happy to be here today, having already participated in the program to share some insights, and I hope that's helpful for everyone today.
Thanks all, Lucy. I'm very sure people will be looking forward to your thoughts about the program and your industry experience, as well as Peter, you with regards to the academic insights and how the program runs. So quickly just touching upon the agenda we are going to be covering in today's session. As I again mentioned previously, this session is not just going to be us giving out information. It will be more of an interaction from various perspectives, and also we will give an opportunity to people who are attending the session to also give out their insights and to share their valuable opinions as well. So quickly jumping upon to why University of Oxford and Saïd Business School? Well, obviously, University of Oxford does not need an introduction in itself. With over 900 plus years of legacy, not just from a legacy perspective, the university has also been ranked first for the last 10 years consecutively as per Times Higher Education ranking of 2025. Talking about Saïd Business School, it is number 2 in the UK as per the latest Financial Times ranking. And not just from a ranking perspective, we have a solid community of individuals who have joined our online program, and we proudly call them Elumni, who are 50,000 plus, and we are very proud to say that we are a very global and diverse cohort of people from 200 plus countries a part of this specific program. And we have an industry breaking 92% of passing rate as well for our online programs. So, jumping upon to the program, talking about who should specifically join for this specific program. So, for this, I would like to hear your opinion on this, Peter, as you have been working over the years and like have been interacting with a huge amount of people in this particular program. So, what kind of people do you see in this course coming, and like what kind of people get the most impact out of this course?
Yeah, sure. Great question. So there's a lot of C-suite. This is a sort of AI governance level course. So it's not technical. So it's basically anyone involved in AI governance within their organization. So that could be from a setting up a sort of risk management or framework, AI governance framework, anyone where the EU AI Act is just coming into force in various stages. So everybody worried about how that or what that will look like in real world companies and the impact it's going to have on everybody. So yeah, it's a really good time to be doing this course because these regs are just starting to be released and just starting to be enforced. So basically, it's for anybody who the AI regulations will touch, right? So that's you'll know if that's you. If you're in a position where you have to make these kinds of decisions and work with other people within your orgs about rolling out AI regulation deployments, then this course is certainly for you. There's actually a little list on bullet point list there, and so just reading through that, legal policymakers, people who've done the AI course, which I'm also a head tutor on, CIOs, yeah, C-suite. Executives, anyone involved in the regulation landscape, this is the course for you.
Got it, got it. Thanks a lot, Peter. And Lucy, if you can, give everyone, I think people will like love to hear your understanding as to what motivated you to get into this program specifically.
Absolutely. Yeah, so for me, there were two main drivers for me signing up to this program. One was because my career involves assessing evolving regulatory landscapes and identifying emerging risks and opportunities, and then shaping strategy to respond to that. And as AI sort of grows and is ever more embedded in all industries and all teams within most businesses, that seems to be the direction of travel anyway. I was interested to see how different jurisdictions would approach AI regulation because there's something of an arms race going on with AI, with different countries wanting to balance risk and value. And then secondly, my degree in philosophy introduced me to some of the ethical dilemmas, which at the time seemed quite far-fetched and now are actually playing out in lots of different industries, particularly things like medical applications and autonomous driving springs to mind, but across the board, small things up to big things. So the program was an investment in myself to make me feel more prepared to as AI becomes more a bigger part of working life, and I think it's quite overwhelming when you try and sit at home and try to research these things yourself. I think having a well-structured, well-delivered program with lots of interaction with your peers from different industries and different parts of the world who can all bring different perspectives and having lots of interactions with the tutors really appealed.
Thanks a lot, Lucy. And that is actually a very interesting point that you mentioned that you have your bachelor's you did in philosophy, which and you are in this specific space and upscaling in this area and working in this industry because we surely get a lot of questions from people from various backgrounds whether this particular program is relevant for them and whether they should expand their knowledge in this specific area. So I think that will be a lot helpful and insightful for people. So, I would like to actually now hear from everyone who has joined. So, what is your reason for considering this program? You will be getting a poll on your screen with 4 options, and we would actually love to hear from you all that what is the primary motivating factor for every one of you to join this program. Okay, so we have the poll. We have 4 options. The very first is master the rules of shaping the future of artificial intelligence, for example, like the EU AI Act. Learning how to use AI ethically and competitively. Third is build practical skills to manage AI risks and confidence. And the fourth is gain an Oxford edge in the fast-moving AI world. Well, there's a close competition, I would say, between the second and third option. A lot of people, and I think the third option has surpassed. So I think the primary area of concern and the motivating factor for people is to build practical skills to manage artificial intelligence risks and confidence. And that is very much, I think, Peter and Lucy would agree, is the thing that is impacting people the most, and the primary thing that people are taking into consideration, considering how rapidly AI is advancing. And at that time, I think practical skills is like the go-to at the moment for everyone. So thanks a lot, everyone. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so what exactly you will be gaining in this specific program? Obviously, there are 2 aspects to it. One is on a personal level, the things that you will be gaining, and from an organization perspective. Here I would actually love to have your insights, Peter, if you can highlight, what exactly are the key takeaways that people get from themselves on a personal aspect and from an organization aspect as well, how this program impacts them.
Sure. Again, people coming on this course, usually because they're actually involved in AI compliance, regulation, and governance in their organizations, right? Or would like to move into that area. So you'll gain the knowledge, right? That will enable you to sort of move there and work in that space with confidence, right? It's a 3-week course. And so, it does go kind of quick, but yeah, we cover, the whole landscape of AI regulation and governance, ending up with like a practical, real world example of, what governance would look like and compliance in a real world situation. So it goes right from the theory right through to the regulations themselves in different regions of the world. And so you look at we'll look at the whole landscape of AI regulations, how it's developing and unfolding. Like someone said, it's a very fast-moving, dynamic field. AI itself is, and also the regulations trying to keep up with all the AI developments and improvements and capabilities. Now, your organization will benefit because you will be able to come in with that knowledge and help to steer any programs you will have in the AI compliance, AI regulations, AI governance. So it's super useful. And whether you're sort of coming in from a regulation compliance background or risk management in general, because technology, is every company has, risk management for the company-wide technology deployments. This is focusing, exclusively on AI regulation compliance. And let's be honest, it's such a new field. There's not a lot of knowledge or wisdom out there. So yeah, you'll benefit both personally, and your organizations will benefit from the knowledge you bring from going through this course.
Thanks a lot, Peter. That was really insightful. And Lucy, I think people will love to hear your perspective on this, and both from, I think, your own personal standpoint plus the organization you're working with. How did this program impact from both the perspectives?
Sure. So as Peter said, there's the immediate value of knowing what the regulations are and how to manage that risk, which is important from day one. I also found it really useful to get the broader knowledge and awareness of the potential range of options for development in future, and the range of different approaches from different jurisdictions, because that means you can scan the horizon for what might be coming up and prepare business strategies that are appropriate. So having the framework of the program, starting with the why, then moves into the what, and then the how, is a very helpful way of viewing not just a snapshot from today, but how it might develop. And that gives a lot of food for thought. And I think then the program culminates in a practical case study, an example where you're putting your newly gained knowledge to a test to make sure you've understood everything. And that means that you can then confidently go back to your organization ready to actually implement some of this learning immediately. So there's access granted to the Oxethica platform, which means that it helps you sort of set up what's a suitable risk governance framework given your particular AI usage at a particular time. So it was a very helpful balance of theory and practical business focused information, quite an all-round course, so very, very useful.
That's really helpful, especially from the practical aspect. Like as soon as you completed the program, you were able to you were able to work on the things that you learned in the program very after that. Okay, so moving on to actually how exactly the learning rhythm looks like. So this entire program is of 4 weeks. And it is like 1 week is an orientation week, and then after that you have the 3 weeks of learning that are there in this specific program. The time commitment, which is a very major thing that people do raise, is about 7 to 10 hours per week, and obviously it completely varies on individual from an individual to individual perspective. What the average we have seen is about 7 to 10 hours on a weekly basis, and modules are usually released every Wednesday. And we usually do it like around 11 a.m. UTC. And yeah, so that is how the entire learning journey looks like. It's a very concise program. It's a very highly, because it's a very niche and a highly impactful program. So the entire learning is spread across the 3 weeks which are there. So now jumping towards the actual deep diving into the curriculum that is there. So for this, I would pass it on to Peter, if you can, take us through quickly about what are the, without like letting much of it out,
Yeah.
like how exactly the modules are there, and what exactly people will be learning in all the three modules.
Yeah, so like Lucy said, there's the why, the what, and the how. So each of those 3 weeks. So we're beginning here with the why, right? Why study AI regulations in the first place? So that's all about ethics and kind of do the least amount of harm, right? So probably been a while since a lot of people have thought about ethics. It's kind of ingrained in us by now. Is that also? But we do kind of go right back and look at, ethical frameworks. And then from there, and only when we understand that, can we sort of develop governance frameworks from that. So it's based on ethics, right? And ethics is a branch of philosophy. So it goes right back to the sort of ancient Greeks and before, right? And so, okay, do no harm, do no wrong. Okay, what does that look like inside your organization in relationship to AI? And we cover all that off in module one. Yeah, we can break it down like what is ethics and AI, and then we look at in the module one a little bit with the more practical side of the practicalities of setting up an AI governance within your organization. So module one is all about the why, and module two is about the what, and therefore, what is the what? It's the regulations themselves. So, we have a look at the global landscape of AI regulation development, right? And again, it's a state of flux because AI is moving so quickly ever since the release of ChatGPT in November 30th, 2022, which is just over celebrated the 3-year birthday. It basically caught everybody off guard, including the regulators. And so we've sort of we're still having to play catch up a little bit. And so we look at the state of play in the regulation field, right, in all different regions of the world. There's a focus on the EU AI Act because that's the most developed, perhaps. And the EU is, a very large economic bloc. And also the EU kind of set the standard with GDPR about the data regs, and data is a part of the AI stack, right? And so In Unit 1, yeah, we look at basically, the EU, we look at North America, Canada, we look at APAC, South America, Brazil, we look at APAC, South Korea, Singapore, Australia, we look at North America, the US in particular, but also Canada, and we look at South America like Brazil, as I was saying, when we look at the EU Act in some depth there. And then we look at, we sort of focus down on the EU AI Act in module 2, and then we kind of look at it in the context of the global regulation. And basically, it's a really kind of interesting field right now because every week, something new happens. People pull back, countries pull back, others, move forward. And so, yeah, it's super dynamic, and it's great in the discussion forums because every day in the news there's news about some pretty impactful AI regulation development, right? So never a dull moment at the moment. Um, and it's a little bit like AI itself, right? Every day there's hundreds of new developments in the AI models and the capability, but the regulations also, it's a very dynamic environment. So that's module 2. We look at the AI regulation landscape. And module 3, the final module, we bring it all together, and that is the how. So how we've set up our AI governance framework. We understand about AI regulations in our region. So what does that look like inside your organization? And so we look at how we would perform an AI audit. And we actually, the final assignment, which is in week 3, we actually have a little bit of hands-on experience in a real-world exercise about doing an AI setting up an AI regulation framework and doing an AI audit. And so that forms the backbone of your assignment there. But the Module 3 curriculum sets you up to be able to, do a successful assignment there. And so that's the 3 modules. We've got the why, the what, and Module 3 here is the how.
Got it. Thank you very much, Peter. It was really insightful, and I think a very detailed understanding about all the 3 modules and how exactly they work. And I would love to, and I think everyone would love to hear from you as well, Lucy. Like in the 3 modules, which one was the most interesting one for you, and the one that was like most impactful for you, and even the challenging one as well. We'd love to hear that.
Sure. So I think there's something for everyone because the first module is quite high level principles based. The second module is a real deep dive into the detail. And then the third module sort of brings all the threads together and it starts to make sense and click in your head. So how does this actually work in practice in day-to-day business environments? And throughout these, we've also got, even from the kickoff call where everyone introduces themselves, we had a good range of topics being discussed on the chat. So there was a bit of a mix of all of these 3 areas throughout the program, which was good. I think personally, I enjoyed the third module the most because it was where everything felt like it had sunk in and was making sense. But I think I was surprisingly pleased with all of them because there was partly just because the variety of learning techniques that were being used. So it wasn't just that you sit down for 7 to 10 hours a week and just read a block of text solidly. It was a bit more engaging and interactive. I really enjoyed it all. But I think from a practical implementing these skills perspective, Module 3 was very satisfying and a good conclusion to the program.
Thank you very much, Lucy. That's nice to hear. Okay, so now we would like to hear from every one of you as to the big question that how prepared is your organization for the upcoming for the upcoming AI threats and regulations, obviously. So let's see. Okay, so we have some people who are fully confident that their organization and themselves, they are like fully up and ready for the AI regulations, and majority of the people we can see is are in the somewhat category, and somewhat categories, I think a clear winner over here. So we have like 60%, which is more than half of the people thinking that their organization is somewhat ready. So obviously, and that is why this program is there in the first place, to in order to take that from somewhat to fully ready from an organization and from a personal perspective. So thank you everyone for sharing the insights. So moving on. So next, we are going to discuss the very big question, which me and my team get a lot, which is how exactly the Oxford online learning experience works and how exactly it is different. Well, the Oxford learning experience is altogether a totally different world, and we have very solid. We are very solid from in order from a support perspective, from a guided learning perspective, and from and interactiveness as well, and we try to make it as much practical as possible. But here I would like to love to hear from Peter as to, because you've had like so many cohorts, you have dealt with so many people, how exactly people share their experience about the Oxford learning experience, and what is the like differentiating factor that you feel here.
Yeah, well, it's Oxford, so it's backed by, some great professors providing the content, the videos, that type of thing. There's, like Lucy said, there's a mix of content, mixed media, so multimedia delivery here. So we get that from the Oxford, this high standard we expect, you would expect there. And let's see. So yeah, I mean the core, the actual platform, you can just do it wherever you are. If you're traveling with work, or you're at home or on the train commuting, it can be done anywhere it can work on the mobile or on the laptop. Yeah, so the actual course itself is, 3 week. I found it really well kind of, thought out in terms of how do we fit all of the regulations, take you on this journey from, learning basic fundamental principles to sort of the regulation landscape to how would I actually implement something in my organization. It's done very, very, very well. Slightly biased, but I think it is actually. And so, yeah, it's, there's quizzes to test your knowledge as you go through. The final assignment is a sort of hands-on, how would I actually implement, in a specific use case. So just in general, the content, the Oxford experience, and obviously, you can, if you want to, you can join the alumni community afterwards. And basically, you're forming a network, right? And for life, if you want. And yeah, that's incredibly valuable too. So you get that and access to the Oxford alumni network, lifetime access to that as well. So yeah, well worth it.
Thank you, Peter. And Lucy, would you mind sharing your experience of the entire learning journey, how exactly it had been?
Absolutely. So the first thing that happens is an introductory call which I thought was really useful. It was we had little breakout rooms to meet and introduce ourselves, and from then on, really, everyone was using the chat a lot. There was a lot of discussion, a lot of different perspectives, people working in very different industries from all over the world, contributing their perspectives, and I think that really helped when you were then going through the material, whether it was some reading or videos or other media, or whether it was dialing into the live events. It helps to have that network of people you can ask questions of, get their perspective, and ask questions of tutors if needed. So working asynchronously most of the time worked, and it was good to have the option to dial into the live sessions and have a conversation. The platforms all worked really smoothly. It was very easy to access. And so some of the material, you obviously want to sit down at a laptop or a computer and give your full attention to, but sometimes it's nice to have the app on your phone to reply to messages within the group. But it was very flexible, very easy to do. And that network has then continued. So since the program's finished, we have a WhatsApp group. They've arranged various calls, various in-person meetings. And because AI regulation is changing so much, it's very useful to have that network of people keeping an eye out for news and information that might be relevant. So that's been really helpful. And
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Lucy. Yeah, yeah, please, you were saying something.
And I was just going to say, obviously, the alumni network is also very helpful. This is a more formal network afterwards. It's very useful. There's already been a couple of events that have been relevant, which I mean, I only finished the program last month. So, yeah, that's been fantastic as well.
Thanks a lot, Lucy. It's really impactful, and I think it's very important for everyone because obviously everyone is working professionals, and we get a lot of C-suite individuals. So obviously time management is a very big concern, and that is why the entire program is divided into synchronous and asynchronous learning. Whereas, as like Lucy mentioned, you can even access it from your phone as well and go through the details, and also whenever you get free time, you're traveling and all, you can go through the curriculum and then accordingly work on that. So we even have a short video as well, just to give you all the first-hand understanding as to how exactly the entire learning platform works. So as you can see very much here, that it is a very well-defined platform. You have the recorded videos in that. You can see the PDF versions of that as well, if in case you are more into the reading side of things. Then you have in between, you have quizzes and you have tasks in between which you have to complete. You have the key takeaways. So you basically have that entire thing embedded inside the learning platform itself, so you don't have to go out of the way and have to summarize things from somewhere, or have to put in any external efforts in that particular way. So let's move on. So, obviously, no program ends without assignments and assessments, which are a very critical part. And especially if we talk about from Oxford perspective, assignments are a very crucial aspect. So, as you can see, how exactly that has been split. So, 45% goes to graded quizzes, and 40% goes to written report. 15% is your discussion. As like Lucy also mentioned, discussion is a very important aspect when it comes to our online program. So how much active you are on the platform, how much you are resolving, you're helping out your peers. That also has a very significant impact there. And finally, you have to score at least 50% in order to get the final certification. So actually, it will be great, Lucy, if you can, share some insights as to. I think people will love to hear how exactly your journey from an assignment perspective went, and especially the last one. The I know we have a major caption project at the end of the third module. So how exactly was your experience with that and the assignments?
Yes, the quizzes as you go through are really just for your own to sort of check that you're on track and check your own understanding. It's a very helpful way to make sure you don't reach the end of the program and then realize too late that you needed to ask more questions. So that's actually very helpful to be built in like that. The discussions, as I've said, very useful because you get people from all sorts of industries and sectors posting different perspectives. The final project was really helpful for me because it was a way of ensuring that the theoretical knowledge that I had could be translated into some practical value for myself and my business. So the confidence you then take, having completed that practical case study, is significant. At the end of the process, you also get some detailed comments advising where you could have improved and where you did particularly well. So that was helpful. It didn't take too long. I think the sort of average of 10 hours per week is obviously it's different for people learn at different paces and have different ways of managing their time. But the final assignment wasn't a huge extra burden on top of that. It was manageable because of the length of the course. It's not like you have to make huge changes to fit in the work and the assignments. Just one assignment at the end, it means that it's realistic to fit that in amongst work and other commitments. And it was definitely a very valuable process. I don't mind putting the time in and the effort in if I feel like it's really cemented some learning, and it really was well designed and a very useful marking and guidance as well. So yeah, I would say it was a really positive experience.
Thank you, Lucy. Because I think people raise a lot of this particular concern as to how exactly how much time they have to spend for the assignments, and how exactly assessments work. I think that gives a lot of clarity in that aspect. Okay, so obviously the heart of Oxford is our faculty. So we have world-class faculty, and the main academic director for this specific program is Mr. Matthias Holwig. We have other great faculty as well as Mary Sacco, Michael Smiths, Daniel Agni, Mario Serena. So we have like whole people from across the globe teaching into this program, and obviously the topmost leading world faculty in this specific program. Peter, would you like to add anything in this?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, as Sahej just mentioned, world-class faculty have kind of gone into designing and delivering the course, right? So it's the Oxford level. You can expect the Oxford level of tuition and content, basically. So yeah, we've got Professor Matthias Holvig, who some of you will know from the artificial intelligence course. So he's taken a little bit out of that course and expanded it into the 3-week course on ethics. So all credit is due to Professor Holvig. And then we've got a couple of professors there. Also, some of you will recognize from the artificial intelligence course, Professor Sacco and Agni. They were both delivering some content there. And then we've got some new faces here, Professor Matt Amanias and Tadio. So they're all in their own right, experts on regulation and compliance. So yeah, you bring that all together and you've got a very strong kind of team backing up all the content. And yeah, it's a fun course.
Thank you very much, Peter. Lucy, so I know I'll be putting you in a tough spot, but if you can, share any particular session that was like very impactful for you from any of the professors.
Yes, actually, I remember the discussion that we had with Peter, where we were discussing the future of work, the impact of AI on normal or current working practices, and the potential for universal basic income if AI takes over all the jobs, and what might make that happen, what might make that not happen, and some really, really interesting points flagged by lots of the participants. So we stuck mostly to the material on the course, but also these calls were a great opportunity for people to bring up all sorts of different ideas and topics related to AI that you see news headlines and you want to ask some questions. And it was very good to have the opportunity to ask Peter his views.
That's great. That's great to hear. Okay, so one of the very important aspect which I get a lot when I'm conversing with students, which is obviously we know Oxford is world leading when it comes to faculty, but what about the actual practical experience or the practical exposure from an industry standpoint? So here we would like to like highlight that it's not just the academic aspect of things, but you will get real world experience also coming to the program from industry experts across the globe. So you have like organizations like BP, you have Oxetica, you have the Association of AI Ethicists. So these are just some of the names. So maybe Peter, you can throw some light in this particular area as to from a practicality and industry perspective, what kind of guest lectures and all do we have in this program?
Yeah, great question. So, as well as all the top level professors, we also have people from industry lending their real world experience, delivering some of the content, in particular the video content. And so we have people, regulation experts, governance and compliance leaders from BP, Oxetica, which is the platform we use for regulation and compliance, SKW Schwartz. That's a law company, Association of AI Ethicists, which is a very prominent organization, one of the first ones, in fact, built around, they saw that where AI was going, and so they set up this organization of AI ethicists. So they're there on board, and then we have Stepstone, another company, so AI ethicists and compliance leaders from that company as well. So what we're trying to say here is we have both the academic depth plus the industry experience to really make this course, a solid, well-rounded one.
Got it. Thank you very much, Peter. That gives a lot of insights from a practicality industry perspective. So I know Lucy touched upon this particular part, but for Oxford, it is a very big thing, which is from a networking and community aspect. So obviously, as soon as you complete the program, it's not over. You are part of the 900 plus years of legacy of Oxford, and you become a part of our alumni community. So you join a global cohort of about 50,000 plus people and from 200 plus countries in this particular program. So yeah, maybe I think people will love to hear from you, Lucy, as to how exactly, although you have shared about the WhatsApp group, and that's a very interesting part that people are, connecting even after the program completed. So maybe you can share some insights from a networking community aspect. Yeah, over to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, so it was clear from when we first introduced ourselves that there were people from a variety of different backgrounds. So we had some legal professionals, some people from financial services, some healthcare professionals, and people like myself in the energy industry, and then some people from other businesses who work in managing risk and governance for a huge variety of businesses, some startups as well, and from all over the world. So with their own understanding of local variance in regulations in a number of different sectors. So it was very useful to connect with those people during the course because obviously they bring different perspectives and therefore ask different questions of the tutors, and that's really helpful. Then, since the course, we've agreed that with the rate of change of AI regulation, it's sensible to stay in touch and for people to post relevant updates, and then have regular calls and in-person gatherings when we can, but actually calls worked really well during the course. So sort of trying to continue that sort of structure really of continuing the chat and continuing the online events. So that's been very, very valuable to such an extent that we're now organizing it ourselves.
Oh, that's great. That's great to hear. That it's a lifelong connection that is there. Peter, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think one of the, strong points of these programs with Oxford is the actual network you get to build, a lifelong network of people from all different industries, leaders, in particular for the this course. It's a great support network that you get, right? It's not just the content, it's not just the learning, it's a lifelong support team. And yeah, it's great to see. It's really great to see these communities being built at the very early stage of AI regulation
Yeah,
development.
absolutely. That's really great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, coming on to the end of the discussion, so you obviously get a certification from Oxford and Saïd Business School apart from the alumni status that you get, and this is readily shareable. You can post it on LinkedIn, you can add it over there, and we would actually love you all to share and tag us when you're sharing the same. Apart from that, this program is also CPD certified, and along with it, as Peter highlighted, this program is also in collaboration with Oxetica. So you do get two additional certifications of Oxetica along with another certification as well. So in total, you get about three certifications for this program. And maybe Peter, you can throw some light on the Oxetica certification part and how impactful those are.
Yeah, sure. So this is a, CPD certification. So it's an official certification from the CPT program or organization, basically. So it's a real certification. And it's a certified AI ethicist, CAIE. Now that's nice to have, right? When you go into clients or within your own company, looking for promotion, this is a real tangible thing that you can show people, right? That you have attained a certain level of knowledge in the AI ethics, regulation, and compliance field. So yeah, super important.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And Lucy, if you can share like how impactful was the certification for you?
I think it's great to have something that differentiates you from um, others who are trying to market their own knowledge. I think it's very difficult when the industry is this young or when the particularly the AI regulations are so new, to make it clear to potential businesses what knowledge you do and don't have. And I think this is an excellent way of giving a more objective, helpful proof of what you are aware of. And I think that's going to be increasingly important as more and more people try to work in this area. Being able to differentiate yourself is very useful.
Absolutely, yes. Okay, so we have a short poll that is we are basically launching a new program which is into the agentic AI side of things, which is a very booming area, as you all know at the moment, as we are now shifting towards from large language models to more of agentic side of artificial intelligence. So we'll love to hear from you all as to what should be the name that we should be going ahead. So we have about 5 options over there. And this is a program that we are planning to launch next year. And okay, so there is a huge competition between Oxford Agentic and Generative AI program and Oxford Generative and Agentic AI program, Foundations and Practice. So yes, I think people are more inclined towards the foundations and practice side of things. Okay. Okay, yeah. So I think the foundations and practice is the clear winner here, with 40% of the people going ahead with the same. So thanks a lot for sharing your thoughts on the same, and definitely this program we will love to have you all in this particular program and getting more insights and your foundations and practical side of things cleared from a agentic side. Okay, so we are at the end of our session. So if this session was very helpful for you, and it seems like this is the program that you should go for. So we have our upcoming cohort that is starting on 28th of January, and the enrollments for the same we would be closing by about 25th of January. So if you want to go ahead and directly enroll, you have the QR code. You can directly scan and get yourself enrolled into the same. Also, we are introducing the New Year campaign, which we call as the New Year, New Me campaign. So as part of it, we are providing an exclusive 20% discount for the people who have joined this particular session. So you will be getting, so the overall program price is £1,500. You will be getting a 20% discount on the same by applying the code NY20. In case you have any further, you want to have a personal interaction and you want to have like more details about the program or want to understand with how the program specifically is going to help you, you can also set up a call by scanning the QR code on the left hand side. And you can set up a call with our senior program consultants and have an understanding on a personal level. Okay, so I'm mindful of the time. However, I think we can take 1 or 2 questions if that is fine. So I'll just check if I think we will be able to take about 1 or 2 questions. Okay, so starting from the top, so Carlos has mentioned how this program addresses the use of AI across 2 distinct domains, the civil market and the defense market, and what approach it adopts in each case. Okay, Peter, would you like to take this up?
Yeah, could you read the question again, please?
So it is by Carlos that how this program addresses the use of artificial intelligence across 2 distinct domains, the civil market and the defense market, and what approach it adopts in each case. So I think it's more on a case-on-case basis how exactly this program impacts, like from people from various industries coming into the program.
Yeah, I got the defense industry. What was the other one? The space industry?
It's the civil market.
Which one?
The civil market.
Single.
No, no, civil.
Civil, right. That's
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So in general, right, just to have a little step back. This course is basically deals with general principles and AI regulations in different jurisdictions around the world. Now, so the principles don't change depending on the industry vertical. That would be my answer. So yes, if you're in the defense industry, that's your area of domain expertise, right? If you're in the retail, that's your you're a domain expert in retail. So, but the principles are the same and the regulations are the same for retail, defense, transportation, finance, healthcare. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think that pretty much answers that.
Yeah.
We'll just quickly take one or two more questions. Uh, okay, so there is another one. So yeah, I think this is just a second. Yeah, so I think this is a very much relevant for everyone raised by Elizabeth, that will the AI governance structure of the organizations be covered in this course? So maybe Peter, if you can take up that.
Yeah, again, it's general across organizations and industries, but yes, yeah. So it's a very practical course. The ultimate aim is to get you guys ready for the real world application of this regulation, compliance, and governance. So by the end of the course, again, in module three, we do some hands-on exercises and including the assignment. So by the end of the course, you will at least have done and looked at a few real world examples. But yeah, it's a 3 week course, so we have to be realistic about how much. But we certainly you'll understand the general principles, and you'll have great knowledge of the AI regulation landscape and some hands-on at the end of it. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I think definitely that answers. One very interesting question that Oscar has raised is that so he participated in the Oxford Artificial Intelligence program, which is our another program. So they want to understand how exactly this program is different from that, and is there
Yeah.
any overlapping aspect into the same,
Yeah.
Peter?
That's a great question. So basically, the AI course was 6 weeks, and I think it was module five. We had half of that was on AI ethics, right? So this is basically taking that very short piece of the AI course and expanded it into a 3 week course. And so super necessary because AI regulations have become the hot new thing, right? And also with them coming into force and being implemented in different regions around the world, if you get it wrong, you get fined, right? And so that can actually be an existential threat to your business if you don't comply to the actual regulations that are actually starting to be implemented. So yeah, it's a tiny part of the AI course expanded into something that practical.
Yeah, but I think that is lot helpful. So I'm
Yeah.
mindful of time here. So we are already past the scheduled time. So I think we'll not be able to take all the questions, but definitely you can write us your questions. Also, you can directly scan the QR code on the left hand side to book a consultation call with our senior program consultant, and we'll definitely love to answer all your queries in that. Okay, so we are at the end of the session, and I would again really thank Lucy and Peter for taking up the time. I think it was a really insightful session, and not just from the program aspect. I think people got a deep understanding how exactly this area is evolving, and how rapidly ethics, regulations, and compliance aspect in this particular industry is changing, and how exactly they need to be upfront with that. So, yeah, thank you for absolutely joining. Any final closing comments from both of you, if you would like to share?
Sure. Yeah. There was a question in the Q&A there about, or in the chat, will we be emailing the video of this session to the email attendees? Would that be possible?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll definitely share the recording of the same
Okay.
after this particular session. Yeah, and it will
Yeah.
also be posted on YouTube, so you can even
Ah,
view it from there as well. Yeah.
yeah. So apart from that question, yeah, it's a great course, and yeah, if you're in the AI regulation compliance space, super valuable, and it will give you a really good foundation to take this forward into your organization. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. And Lucy, if like anyone who's on the edge, what would you like to say to them?
Yeah, I would say I would thoroughly recommend the program. I think it makes a dauntingly complex field of study much more manageable and enjoyable. So yeah, I would recommend it.
Thank you very much. Okay, and thank you for everyone again joining this session, and we'll see you soon as part of our upcoming cohort.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, and have a good day, everyone. Bye bye.